Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Have At It, episode 10. My name is Ben Cornett, and tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to recap the Chiefs and the Eagles and their Super Bowl matchup. We're going to also talk about free agent quarterbacks that are out there. My Bucks is one of those teams that maybe looking for a quarterback. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Put that up there, scroll for you, and we'll talk some more stuff. But joining me tonight is my good friend from NFL Edition on Thursday nights. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the professor, Mr. Johnny Dean. Johnny, good evening. Thanks for coming in, man. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Good, good. It's been quite a week. This is going to be the first week without NFL until about August. But there's always plenty to talk about in the NFL, even during the off season. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about we'll recap the Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl. Was this one of the best Super Bowls you've seen in a long time, Mr. Dean?
Oh, it goes in the top 10, 12, maybe. I mean,
Okay.
you can't beat those first two Cowboy Steelers games, man. You can't beat them. Them were great Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Um, the Denver and Packers Super Bowl, that was a great Super Bowl. There's been a lot of Super Bowl. Recency bias would say, yeah, this was the greatest Super Bowl ever. But then if you were go back through your memory or go watch some of them old Super Bowls again, you'll see there were some great Super Bowls played before. So I put it in the top 15.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you've seen a lot of Super Bowls. I myself have. I definitely put it in my top 10. I mean, just because these were two evenly matched teams that played to what we expected, but also um, just it came down to a kick in the Super Bowl. I know you're not
Yep.
a fan of kickers, but it did. It came down to Mr. Bucker's foot. But I would, yeah, definitely put it in the top 10 for me. I still think my favorite Super Bowl was the Titans Rams, you know, Super Bowl back in 2000. Like I said, they were two evenly matched teams as well. So, but back to this Super
My
Bowl.
first two Super, my t- first, the first two Super Bowls were my favorite too, because that's what got me hooked on the NFL. You know,
Okay.
when I watched those two, those have a standing all by themselves for me. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
other,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this one, I mean, again, in your top 15, what stood out to you in this game? I mean, just in your opinion, what was the major thing that
the
stood out?
offensive line of the Chiefs was a lot played a lot better than they have all year long. That was their best game.
Yeah.
That really stood out to me.
And I'll
Uh,
tell you, oh, go ahead.
to me, Jalen Hurts outplayed Mahomes, but as a team, the Chiefs stood up and made themselves known. You know,
Yeah. And the Eagles came in, regular season, they had 70 sacks, Johnny. 70. That led the NFL.
0 sacks.
Zero
The
sacks.
offensive. Do you see the offensive line shirts? The
Oh,
zero
yeah.
sacks on it. Yeah,
No sacks. And they deserve it. That again, Johnny, we're trenches guys. That's
yeah.
the most important thing in football. You have great trenches, you're going to usually win every time. And I'll tell you, man, both teams played well. You hate to see one of these teams lose, but again, it was the offensive line for Kansas City, special
Experience.
teams, special teams as well, the big
Yep.
kickoff return.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
uh, and Nick Bolton's, fumble scoop for the touchdown
yeah.
turned out to really be the difference. If you think about it, score wise, it ended up being the difference. So, I mean, what a game! Or Kansas City outscored Philly 24-11 in the second half, and that's
Yep.
adjustment by Andy Reid. You
That
know,
is.
yeah. And speaking of his offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy is going to be the new Commanders' offensive coordinator. He's going to have a lot. He's going to be an assistant head coach as well. So it looks like if Rivera, you know, step down or something happens, he leaves. Bieniemy looks like he'll be the next guy in line to
Yep.
be the head coach for the Commanders. I like the move, and our good friend Sean Spencer, I'm sure, loves the move.
Oh, he's gotta be taking a big sigh of relief, man, because the next guy in line was you know who. And
Yeah,
I
and
would I wouldn't wish Roman on anybody, and you know
yeah, no, it wouldn't have been a good fit anyway. I mean, I think Bieniemy's perfect, especially they're gonna go with Sam Howell, I'm sure. They're gonna
I
develop
have
him.
questions there, but you've heard my questions about that anyway. So
Yeah, absolutely. Fair
we all
enough.
have questions. We got questions about our quarterback, right?
Well, why don't we get into that? Let's talk about Mr.
How was that
Trask.
for a segue?
Perfect. I love your segues, Johnny. That's why I brought you on here.
We're definitely getting a quarterback, though. There's no doubt. It doesn't mean that they're not going to play Trask. It just means that there's only one person signed at quarterback position on our team right now.
Correct. Yes.
So you have to sign a quarterback.
And we got a lot of quarterbacks that are out there, Johnny. Some veterans out there. We got a Derek Carr, probably the biggest name out there. Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield. Out of those three, if the Bucks sign one of those three, which would be the best fit for offensive coordinator Dave Canales? And
Honestly, short term,
mhm.
it would be Garoppolo. Long term, I guess you'd look at Carr, but you're not going to pay Carr that $40 million, man.
No, I mean we don't have it right now.
Baker
Garoppolo,
Mayfield, just as a camp body, he could be like Gabbert and just sit in camp, and just in case something happens, because you're going to need that. You saw what happened in San Francisco all year, man. You're going to need
yep.
that.
I think Mayfield's better off with the Rams. I wish the Rams would sign him.
I think he would be, but
McVay, it would fit his offense. I mean, Mayfield can still, I mean, I'm not a big Mayfield fan, but I think in this offense, he would fit fine. What McVay does. And Carr, I mean, I live here in Vegas, as you know. So, there's been a lot of people love him, some don't, but the question is, can he play under pressure? He's a good quarterback, but can he handle that pressure? I think Tampa would be a good place for him because the South's not going to be very good next year. Unless Carolina does something drastic, which they're probably the favorites right
Carolina,
now.
yeah, to me they're the favorites. But then last year they were favorites too, and the Saints still was right stepping stone right with us. So
yeah, and that's another team Derek Carr visited earlier
yep.
before the Raiders released him, and obviously that didn't go well. But his name is linked to the Jets now. He's going to have a second visit with the New York Jets.
While Aaron Rodgers is in his little dark room, blacked out
like that. Yeah, he's probably like right now in the retreat. Derek Carr's like getting that visit from the Jets. Like, okay, we got to end this early. No, but I mean, that would be a pretty interesting fit. Derek Carr to New York. I mean,
yeah. Other than the personality thing, because the Jets, I think Derek Carr in New York would be better with the Giants than the Jets. But then again, because to me his personality fits the Giants a little better than it fits the Jets. The Jets have. When has the Jets had a quarterback that wasn't just flamboyant or just crushed under the media? They're either flamboyant as hell or they get crushed by the media. You know what I mean? I guess
consistency. Yeah,
I guess Tebow did okay, but he wasn't there but a minute, so you really can't tell.
Right? Yeah, not long enough to be like
He was getting crushed by the media too, though. So,
oh yeah, I mean that's always been Tim Tebow. It's for religious beliefs. I get it, but yeah, I mean Giants. I would love to see Carr in a Giants uniform. I mean Brian Daboll.
I think that's the best fit for him right there. Would be the Giants. So I'm not saying he would or wouldn't make it with the Jets. I think he's got the team around him to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because the Jets have a great team, right? They got a good team built there.
Yeah, they do.
As far as the only question mark is the media, and I'm sure he's not thin-skinned as hell. He showed a little bit of thin skin a couple of years ago, but then, popped out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. I wouldn't say a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 12, something like somewhere in that area. But I mean, like you said, I think the Giants would be a good fit. but I don't think the Jets would be a bad fit either.
Yeah,
You know,
with
again,
that team, I don't think that team and the way Robert Saleh runs that defense and stuff, you don't have to be a great quarterback. He's got weapons at the Jets.
right?
He's
Yeah,
got offensive line with the Jets. He's got pretty much all the pieces in place to succeed.
yeah. He's got Brees Hall, running back.
Yep,
He's got
absolutely.
Garrett Wilson, you know, good receiver. I mean, yeah. So I mean, he's going to have his pick of the teams pretty much out of, I would say, Garoppolo or Mayfield. Carr's going to have more of his pick of the teams, so he'll be highly coveted. As far as the Bucks go, you know, again, Trask is the only guy under contract. Who do you think you see the Bucks and Jason Light end up bringing in?
They're going to bring in some veteran player to be that bridge guy to help out with the rookie and stuff. And then I think they draft maybe a Stetson Bennett or something in the third or fourth round. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, that's I had the funny thing is back to the conversation about the Jets and Derek Carr.
Yeah,
As soon as I saw that Aaron Jones took a $5 million pay cut today, the first thing I thought about was, okay, I think they see the writing on the wall with the Jets and Carr, and maybe they're making more room to open up caps so that they can actually pay Rodgers and get somebody in.
I could see that. Yeah, I mean that
I
kind
mean,
of
what
makes
else would Aaron Jones take a $5 million pay cut for right now?
makes sense, right? I mean, connect the dots. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I think Rodgers does end up coming back to Green Bay for one more year. Um, like you said, Derek Carr's getting that second visit from the Jets, so maybe they're zoomed in on him. You know, maybe that's
Yep.
okay. Time's right. Let's get him now before everybody else tries to catch him. So, but as far as the Bucks, though, Johnny, do you think like a Brissett could possibly be like a Jacoby Brissett?
That's a name that me and Keith have pitched around a couple of times. Yeah, I think Brissett would be a good fit. I don't know if he's going to. Well, we got to get him in here first, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
and after last year, with not even looking at an offensive tackle to replace or a center to replace Jensen,
Mm,
I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, I don't know where their thought process is. They definitely have to have a vet and a third, which would probably come in a draft.
yeah. And you know, I think when I look back at it, Johnny, when Tom Brady decided to file his retirement papers right away instead of waiting until after June 1st, I think that kind of threw the Bucks off a little bit. Like, wait a minute. I thought maybe they're holding out hope that Brady would file those papers after June 1st, where that money could be spread around the next 2 years. They could take the cap hit in
Right,
2024.
right.
But
It,
now,
it seems kind of like a finger to the organization after he walked out the door. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, very interesting.
Especially after all the nice things he had to say about the Bucks organization, and then he does something like that. It's kind of like it's head scratcher. You know what I mean? But then again, it's giving them time to decide what they're going to do, look at their choices and stuff.
Yeah, and the only downside to it, Johnny, we're gonna get the $35 million cap hit
Yeah.
this year altogether. But at least it's just for this year, and then after that, we got to
And it
clean
does
slate.
come in the year when the largest cap increase of all time hits,
Right?
so
Yeah. So what is that? Like 18 million, I think, increase in the cap. Went like 18 million.
I had it written down somewhere. I don't have it now.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, something like that. So really, it's like say 18 million, for example. Let's say so it's like a 17 million cap hit instead of a 35 with
Right.
the increase. So yeah, and that's going to be interesting. There's some decisions as well. You know, we're still going to have to restructure. We're still going to have to maybe let a couple players go just so we can, get to even. And
I'd
then
like to find out how much that stimulus money is supposed to help. I really want to find out that number so I
mm,
can add that into the equations. I know we will have people like Evans will probably back shift his money back again, take a big bonus signing and stuff to help out. Um, I'm sure a couple other players will do that too. The ones who want to stay here, and the ones that don't want to stay here. Hey, see, you.
Well, with Dave Canales, who's our new OC, by the way, Todd Bowles said expects to run the ball more. So,
Yeah,
Leonard Fournette's one of those guys that cap wise has money, has a big
it's not,
money.
his cap's not that big an impact. It's $7 million. It's not a real huge impact. Um, and I don't see. I know everybody's in love with Rashad White, but he don't do the things that Lenny can do. He's not that guy. I worry more about getting the O line set up for the run game instead of
Yeah,
worrying about who you're going to run with. Because we got two back to back. We got a great duo right now, and it takes a duo in this league to actually get anywhere. And
yeah,
it's hard. You see how long we searched for a running back. Period.
yeah, yeah.
It's not that easy to go out and just pick a great one and say, okay, here we go. We can run with it. They still have to develop Ronald Jones. Still have to, be that guy. We got good with Rashad White. That was a sweet pick. We knew it when we
What?
made the pick
Yeah,
when we made that pick, but it's not always going to be like that, you know.
right.
So you
And by
can't
the
you
way,
can't just throw away what you got to look at the greener grass.
Ronald Jones has 2 Super Bowls now.
Yeah,
Just
and it hasn't played in a single one.
just saying. Oh no, but I mean, like you said, with the tandem of White and Leonard Fournette, look what Philly had: Miles Sanders, Boston Scott. You know, with the Chiefs, they had Isaiah Pacheco, they had Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Pacheco really
Although
stepped up, man.
Pacheco, yeah, he went way up.
Yep,
Helaire went way down.
he got hot at the right time.
Yeah. So yeah, it does take a duo. I mean, and I think with Canales, he loves to run the ball in his offense. So he had Kenneth Rock Walker's at third. He's had Marshawn Lynch. He's had several good running backs where he's with Seattle. So I can see them both. Leonard probably coming back along with White. White's going to be here anyway, but they probably end up keeping Fournette and probably cutting other contracts or restructuring other contracts. So
Yeah, this year
um,
anyway, because he's under contract this year. If
yeah,
they did anything, it would be a trade. If they made the trade, it better not be for some seventh round duck. And I mean, if they make a trade with Fournette this year, it's got to be a decent trade. Don't get screwed on your trade. Like the Bucks are used to just bending over and letting everybody give it to them. I don't want to see no more of that shit.
and that's interesting. I mean, would they do that though? Trade Fournette? I mean, I know if they can get a
Well,
decent
right now, all the options are on the table. You know that.
right, yeah. I mean,
Just
but
protecting. I don't
Canales,
think they would, but somebody's going
yeah,
to be traded eventually this year.
yeah. I mean, but with Dave Canales' offensive scheme, it's predicated more on the run to set up the pass. So I would
Right.
think you would keep a Fournette, around.
And another thing I like about Canale, he doesn't really put his quarterbacks in bad positions. He don't put them in positions to lose the game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
it's a perfect scenario for a young rookie quarterback to come in and well, Trask ain't a rookie, but he's a rookie. You know what I mean? Or
well, yeah,
anybody we draft. If we draft Stetson Bennett, it's a perfect spot for somebody like that, or a veteran like Baker Mayfield, or
yeah.
like you were talking about. What's his name?
With
You just
Carr,
said it. No,
Garoppolo,
Brissett.
Brissett, Jacoby Brissett. Yes, thank you. I think Jacoby would be an interesting move here. I don't
Yep.
think it would be bad at all. I mean, he did pretty good for the Browns for what they had last year. I mean, before Watson, came back.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're talking about a team that was mostly Nick Chubb. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I mean, you're not asking for Brissett to be Tom Brady. Nobody is, but you're not asking him to do too much. Like you said, Canales does a good job of not putting his quarterback in the right positions. So, with that being said, let me stop ignoring our viewers here because we got some comments in the house. Yeah, he's always. When are you going to be second, Scott?
He's
Uh,
always he was second. He was third last night when he said first, but he didn't
oh
notice
yes,
that there's other streaming sites.
True. Sean Spencer, yes, sir. Sean, congratulations, man. Be enemy. That's going to really help your offense. Can't wait to see what he does with that.
I bet you breathed a huge sigh of relief when you heard that.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was celebrating. He was celebrating. You know that.
Absolutely.
What's up, gentlemen? What's up, Sean? Thanks for tuning in. And yes, he is. The enemy is in DC. Mr. Thaler says Super Bowl. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we know who were in those Super Bowl games. Can we name another Super Bowl that's not biased, Mr. If you can? Super Bowl 57 was lit, absolutely. One of the better Super Bowls we've seen in the last few years. Although the Rams Bengals one last year was pretty good, I gotta admit.
That one with the Titans and the Rams was that's got to be at the top, one of the top two. I hate to give Scott that much credit, but the Music City Miracle, that was awesome.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, what a Kurt Warner against Steve McNair,
Absolutely.
Eddie George, Marshall Faulk, offensive line, the greatest show on turf. Dyson 1 yard short.
Oh man, that was so.
I might have to go back and watch that on YouTube again. Chris Cole, thanks for tuning in. Says, "Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing, Chris? Man, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it." Odette, thank you very much for tuning in as always. Appreciate that. How you doing? How many times did the Eagles sack Mahomes? Yep, big goose egg. And man, that was impressive, Johnny. You gotta say to stop.
Yeah, I wasn't like that's why when I said what was the most impressive, that O line, man, the way they stood up, that was the most impressive part of the game for me.
Let's give props to Isaiah Pacheco too. He did a great job of pass blocking too. I mean,
Yeah, he did. For as small as he is, yeah.
Small as he? Oh my god, man! And Chris says Reed had a great game plan. Yeah, and he made the adjustments in the second half. He got and Spagnuolo, give him some credit too. He sent his defensive backs to blitz Jalen Hurts quite a bit, and it kind of confused Hurts. He didn't have that escape route like he would. Didn't run the ball very much.
Look at that last comment by Scott.
We'll get to it in a minute. Trask, you trust. Yeah, we'll see.
It's not whether I trust him or not. You draft somebody in the second round, you're going to play him. It's beyond no doubt to it. He's going to play. He's going to get playing time. You don't know what you got in him. Nobody here knows what he can do. We've seen what he can do in college. I liked what he did in that Alabama game when he was against a stronger opponent. So,
yeah, we'll swing back to Mr. Traskell. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would have thought maybe I don't know if the Bucks really 100% believe in the guy yet. I mean, think about it. He's only one game.
I believe a lot of that was Brady, dude. I believe a lot of that was Brady saying, "No, I'm taking the snaps. I got to get myself in shape. I got to get these guys right with me and stuff." That's how he's been when he was New England. There was a big hoorah about him and Jimmy G fighting with each other about who gets these snaps and shit. And he's always used to getting those snaps. So I think that's a lot of the problem there was Brady in the house. You're not getting those snaps.
I get what you're saying, Johnny, but what I'm saying is, why didn't he go above Gabbert? I mean,
if Gabbert was a bridge, Gabbert's a bridge. He wasn't going to go above Gabbert until they actually got to actual game time, NFL time. They were probably going to put Gabbert in and then bring him in second halves or portions of games until he got used to game speed, but they never got that chance.
I mean, even in practice, I would have thought maybe if.
Well, all right, now, the beginning of this year, they were taking snaps with the number ones. Trask was taking snaps with the number ones, and he's taking snaps with number ones in preseason. The game plan had been set up for Trask to start. Okay. Then Brady came back, and that game plan got thrown out the fucking window. Now, what was in Byron's head at that time? I don't have a fucking clue, man.
Well, that's what I'm kind of saying, though. Do they think it was Leftwich, perhaps, as a whole offensive staff maybe saying, I don't know about Trask. We'll just stick with Gabbert. We won't even dress Trask.
I can't speculate on what they're whispering behind it because we don't know. That's just speculation. Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see that they're going to try it. They're going to kick the tires on whether it's good or bad. And I'd rather do that than just throw away something, pull a Steve Young on him and throw him to somebody else who can actually develop him and play him.
Yeah, we will see it. But I mean, if they go after a Carr and a Garoppolo, he's not going to start. It's going to be
I,
one of those two guys. I mean, let's be real about
well,
that.
he'll start eventually if Garoppolo's playing behind our weak
Yeah.
ass O line right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I wouldn't want to waste my time with Garoppolo because he always
Exactly.
gets injured.
And
I think
Trask can move around in the pocket, so it's not like he's a statue.
okay, we'll see about that.
I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for to change that dynamic a little bit, not make a running. I hope they don't go running quarterback. I don't want. I don't want a Lamar Jackson who's only good running and stuff, and then get him hurt, and then for 2 years they stay hurt all the time. No, I don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, well, Lamar's not coming here. Let's
No, yeah,
let's
I said a Lamar like because there are some
oh,
quarterbacks
Lamar.
in the draft this year. They're
Okay,
similar
yeah,
to that.
okay. Is this the one you're talking about?
No,
No, okay. Josh Rosen.
you got to say it 3 times, then Rick Henry will show up.
No. Rogers would get eaten alive by the New York media. Oh, absolutely. Rogers is a sensitive fella. Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that as a good fit for Rodgers.
Yeah.
Look, he's out on a seclusion thing right now because of Green Bay. Green
Yeah.
Bay, come on, man. Where everybody is all nice to you.
Right. Kiss your ass and do the yeah.
Right.
Oh my god. We will give you Cam Akers for the
That's
Bucks,
the one.
round choice, and Leonard.
No, you're not getting any draft picks. You gave them away. Kiss ass. I'm sorry. Don't use us to try to correct your mistakes.
There you go, Mr. Scott. Nathan Snell, thank you for tuning in tonight, man. Appreciate it. Good evening, gentlemen. Hey, Nathan, doing great stuff, by the way. He's got a show during the day. I work. I don't get to see. I see bits and pieces of it, but he's doing a great job, man. He covers the Baltimore Ravens. He also does the Maryland women's basketball team. Shout out to him. So, guys, check him out on the Let's Talk Football platform. He has
I
his
share
show.
a show every time I see it, so
Yeah.
it should be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I put it on the Ben Zone as well. So check that out. He's doing a great job. So, oh man. We also got the NBA All-Star Weekend. I know you're probably not going to be watching or interested, but I'm really not either. But it's
I was
there
going to
for.
say, even when I loved basketball, I never watched the NBA All Stars. Man, it was always like all right. I admit I used to watch the 3-point shots and stuff and the slam dunk competitions, but not really
Well,
crazy.
I'm only going to watch the 3-point contest, but I'm watching Elimination Chamber tomorrow night as well. So but yeah. Yep. And
I was watching Daytona earlier.
oh, how was that?
The truck racing, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Nice.
I didn't
and that's
finish it.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No.
Well, speaking of Daytona 500 for our NASCAR fans out there this Sunday on Fox. Tune in. I'll probably watch a little of it. I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but the Daytona 500 is the key event. It's like the Super Bowl of NASCAR races. So check that out. And we got to talk about more football. The XFL starts tomorrow. Mr. Dean, tomorrow, my Vegas Vipers, we're going to play Arlington, the Renegades, tomorrow. It should be a lot of
Ain't
fun.
It funny how the Vipers went from Tampa to Vegas. Now you got them.
Yeah, no, it's fine with me. I mean, we got more football.
Cool logo, I think, but
it is.
Like
we'll be playing our games over at Cashman Field. That's going to be our home base. It's an old baseball minor league. Yeah, I said the word minor league baseball stadium converted. Now the Vegas Lights soccer team plays there, so we will have football there as well. So, Johnny, you going to watch all 4 of those games? I know you probably will, right?
I don't know. Depends on what the first couple look like.
Okay, fair enough. And Nathan says Super Bowl 57 exceeded expectations. I think it did as well because, again, you had two of the best teams, the number one seeds, best teams all year play each other. Came down to final field goal, and yeah, couldn't ask for more. Two very good offenses, good defenses, good offensive lines, battled it out.
In the championship games, 100% agree that the best 4 teams came to the championships,
That's
and
true.
those 2 were the leftovers, what was left standing, and so you
Yeah.
had an actual. I can't see anybody arguing with who was in the Super Bowl this year.
No, not at all. Now, we both had our San Fran Cincinnati pick, and they both lost. So,
Yeah,
unfortunately, the Niners, they had the injury. Brock Purdy got his elbow hurt. Even Josh Johnson got hurt in that game. I mean, no luck at all.
poor
I know.
guy.
Yeah. But I'm sure he'll probably be signed to another team next year. So, anybody out there, he'll probably be on your roster. Cincinnati, I think they'll be back. I mean, not the best game by Joe Burrow, but props to the Chiefs. They deserve to win.
Cincinnati, I think, is going to be hanging around for quite a while, man.
I agree. What's the Rams' next magic trick? Want to see a magic trick?
Oh, they're going to disappear again like they did this year?
Yeah. It'd be a great magic trick.
They're gone. Irrelevant.
Ben, what does BB stand for?
He's trying to get you to say baseball. This is a Ben show. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, man.
Yeah. Yeah, BB gun. Chris Cole said Trask played well in the preseason a few years ago.
He played well in the preseason this year.
Yeah, I mean, there are some, things we do like about Trask. I mean, like you said, he can move out of the pocket.
He's fairly accurate. He's
fairly accurate. Yeah.
He doesn't rush himself. He doesn't rush. I didn't see him make any mistakes. He threw the ball away when he needed to throw the ball away under pressure. He didn't reach too far. He didn't pull our former quarterback's tricks.
Yeah.
He did have a couple of bad throws, but that's all chemistry too. A lot of chemistry involved in preseason. You're playing with, you're throwing the ball to people you've not thrown the ball to before and shit. So,
yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens. Got a long off season. We'll see who they bring in. And then Viper fans poop standing up. Yeah, how do you know that? Why do you watch people poop standing up, Scott?
He's weird, man, ain't he? He watches
like
the weirdest stuff, dude.
I mean, my God, dude. Get a life or something. St. Louis Battlehawks win the championship. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I picked the NFC and AFC champions and the Super Bowl champions. And Scott,
yeah, the Battlehawks are the only ones you can actually go out and see in your town.
Well, with because you got them right. Congratulations, Scott. Oh man. So Johnny, what else do you want to talk about here tonight? Here on Have at It. Anything interesting? Anything sports related? Movie related? Movie related? Show related?
Oh yeah. Well, they just dropped the new trailer for Loki season 2.
Okay.
Well, actually, they're dropping the trailer for it on Monday. They just dropped the information today, and nice. New poster for the Marvels. What else? Sports related. I'm looking forward to some NASCAR this year, actually.
Yeah. Got the big event Sunday. That's going to be good. The Las Vegas 400 will be here in a few weeks, so looking forward.
And that's a road course, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the Bush brothers, well, one of the Bush brothers, Kyle, I guess, got arrested in Mexico the other day or something for doing something weird.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about Alvin Kamara.
Oh, there you go. He has been indicted on charges. Only after.
There is video. There is videotape of what he did. So, yes. And it was pretty brutal, dude. So, Where do you stand on this? Do you think that he should be Ray Rice, or do you think they slack him on the hand and let him have another chance?
Oh, I think
That depends on if he goes to jail or not, because there's still a chance he goes to jail. So
that's true. Listen, Kamara has dropped off anyway. You know what I mean?
same
Football,
kind of situation as Ray Rice right here. I want to see how they react to this.
yeah. And
Kamara,
Goodell does not
this
play
isn't.
around. He doesn't
We
fuck
went,
around. Yeah.
Ray Rice had no priors. He never was not a troublemaker. He never got in trouble before.
Right.
Kamara's been in trouble. So let's see how
Yes.
they handle this shit. I want to see if there's some equality in the NFL here.
I think he's going to get a pretty big suspension. I really do. I mean, because you got the video evidence. That's the key. You got the evidence. Now, for Ray Rice, they had the evidence. That's why he was blackballed. You know, they had the evidence. He hit a woman his wife in the elevator. That was it. So, and Goodell doesn't play around. He's gonna punish you. Like he did it with Watson. Although
he wanted to do more to Watson, he really did. He was begging to do more.
That was the NFLPA. So, yeah. But Kamara, I mean, from a football standpoint, I think he's dropping down. He's not played as well the last couple years. You know, I think not having Drew Brees has really, affected his game. Drew Brees was such a good quarterback, and that offense was ran so fluidly with Drew Brees.
Right.
Michael Thomas didn't have those injury issues until recently. So
why do you think Sean Payton left? Drew Brees left. He didn't want to mess with that shit no more with the cap situation and everything they had going on.
Of course not.
That team's got to be torn down before it can be built back up again right now. So
yeah, and I don't see Carr going there.
Despite I don't either.
People, yeah, I just don't.
What's he got? Michael Thomas, who's never available?
No. I mean, it was a nice draft pick with Chris Olave. I think that was a great pick.
Yeah, I give him that. Olave's a good player.
But again, you're going to need that quarterback and that running game to help that offense. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see.
Is Jameis still under contract with them?
I believe so. Yeah, I think for one more year. I think it's an option year, though. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's interesting. Now, I've been hearing some people saying Bucs fans.
Well, I'm not even thinking about that.
I know,
was just thinking maybe Jameis goes started this year with them again. So,
come on, Jameis will not come back to the Bucs. It's not going to happen, guys.
No.
I want to, Buck fans, if you're listening, he's not coming back. Okay, they're not bringing him back.
I don't chew my cabbage twice, man.
No, they've been there, done that. I mean,
bit that bad taste out of my mouth and got rid of it. Get me a fresh piece of gum.
Got to move on. Got to move on from Jameis. Some people just don't do that, So let's see what we got here. Oh, Chris Cole's got a comment here. Trask threw a dime to Stearns in the end zone. I saw that. Yeah, that was a nice pass too.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good things about Kyle Trask, like we just mentioned a little bit ago. So, again, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if the Bucs are going.
I think Brady stayed a year too long. I wish Trask would have been on the field last year, and with that playbook that they had for him, and just seeing. But then again, we saw what the playbook looked like for Brady. That wasn't great, man. So,
John, what happened was Brady said, "I'll come back if Arians gets out of here."
Yep.
Tell him to retire, then I'll come back.
Yep.
Brady got Arians out of there. I've always believed that. There's always issues with those two. Not in 2020. They won the Super Bowl. They tolerated each other. But then 2020.
Brady didn't like the accountability and how vocal Arians was. That's what kept Arians from getting a head coaching job for so long, because he's vocal. He says what he thinks at the time. You know what I mean? He reacts.
Sure. That's fair.
And Brady just didn't like that. He's used to Belichick, who was like, no, we're moving on to Bengals. You know what I mean? He don't get no.
I think a lot of that had to do with Antonio Brown. Brady wanted Brown. Arians was like, no. But he went along with it because that's what Brady wanted. And ultimately, you have to do what Brady says because, hey, we brought him here. We brought the GOAT here. So he acclimated. They won a Super Bowl, tolerated it, and then we saw what happened in 2021 toward the end.
Yep.
rest is history. So let's see. Kraft and Brady celebrating at the tie. I make you happy salon. Okay. And film at 11. Film at 11. Okay.
Well, it's already past 11. Where's the film?
Yeah. Well, he's on St. Louis time. Maybe it's coming up here shortly. So, oh man. By the way, I just want to say that there's a birthday today. One of the most famous players, athletes in sports history. It's Michael Jordan. 60 years old, baby. 60 years old.
He's a
The
youngster.
goat. Isn't he? He's the youngster. He's the GOAT. I had to
Nice
celebrate.
jersey, by the way, man. I
Thanks.
never thought I would ever see a Bulls jersey in your house, dude.
Well, I'm a Laker fan, but I love Michael. Love the way he played.
Yeah,
Kobe Bryant
I
played
had Bird and Johnson right next to each other on my wall, man. So I
Oh
couldn't,
yeah.
I couldn't
I
pick.
think
I
that was
was
the
always a
Converse
Celtics guy,
poster. Yeah.
but the Celtics wouldn't be the Celtics without the Lakers, man. In the Johnson era.
Vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were great. Those 80s. If you got ESPN Plus, go watch that documentary, the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry. Great documentary. Or if you have HBO Max, they have another one.
And yeah, really watch those games and then watch today's games and all the penalty flags and the flopping and shit. You didn't see that shit, dude. You saw broken ribs and stuff back then.
Yeah. The
I mean,
penalty flags in basketball games. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Like throw a flag on the court.
Right.
Oh, what now?
Mini hockey mug. What's up with your mini hockey mug, Ben?
It's a bottle of water right here. It's not a mug.
Scott, do you need glasses, dude?
Well, I do have my Cobra Kai cup here, coffee cup, which is, by the way, they're gonna have their last season this year. It'll be their last season on Netflix, so we'll talk more about that. We'll talk about more entertainment stuff down the line. Johnny, I know you're gonna restart your entertainment show again pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I need to find some hosts, but right now, because I don't want to do it in spurts. You know what I mean? When I get it started, I want to have a set day, set time, just like we do with NFL edition.
Right.
So I can't be starting and stopping like I've been doing.
Absolutely. No, consistency is the key, and
it is.
You powered through last night with the NFL edition, and you're ragging on me. On my messages, like, where the hell are you at?
Man, I was so sick, man.
Dude,
Tracy's down today. She's been in bed all day, man, because of it. It was horrible last night. As soon as I turned it off, I went and looked up the views and then went straight to bed. Boom.
Yeah, good rest, man. That's the key. Ben won a Tampa Bay hockey mug.
What are you talking about, Scott? It would be funny if there was some context, dude, but you have no context in this. There's nothing to relate these jokes to.
Ben won a Tampa Bay hockey mug.
They say if you have to explain the joke, it's not funny, dude.
Right? Yeah.
That's right.
I'm waiting for the punchline. Give me the punchline, Mr. Taylor. But I appreciate him coming on. Even though he's
a good guy.
Yeah. No,
I gave him hell tonight. I don't know even what we was talking about, but I was giving him hell.
Okay. He does come up with a pretty decent comment right here. Lucifer has been renewed.
That's a lie.
Oh, it is.
Okay. Yes, he's just poking.
Just poking.
He knows that's my. I can't get out of Lucifer. I mean, Lucifer is so far embedded in me right now that I've went and binged other shit, like 4 other shows since Lucifer ended, and I still go back and start binging Lucifer all over again. I've binged the entire series like 5 times in the last 2 months, man.
Nice. That's your show. That is your show.
It is. It's just something about it. It's so unique that I keep trying to find other things that are unique that'll take that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet. I even tried Stranger Things and shit just because It's such a popular show. I figured, well, maybe this one will do it. No, it didn't do it.
Well, give it one more try. Give it one more
I
try.
might have to try Cobra Kai, man. As much as I hated the Karate Kid, I might have to try that one too. And I
Oh,
know it's not the Karate Kid; it's like them grown
right.
up,
Sure.
a
Yeah,
whole
but
different
it's great.
drama.
I think you'll like it. Just give it a chance. Oh, this is what he meant. He wanted North Star. Okay,
Oh,
Scott. It's not North Star. It's North Sports Dynasty, my
North
friend.
Star's a animated series on one of the kids, I think Nickelodeon or some shit.
Oh, okay.
So maybe Scott's been watching that.
Andrew Faubert show during the duck races. Ben won. Oh, okay. Well, I tuned in for a little bit, but then I had to prep for this show. I didn't know that. Well, if that's true, Scott,
You're a winner, Ben.
I appreciate it. I haven't got any messages from Andrew, so I don't know yet. Maybe he's pulling my leg. I do not know. Oh man, you got your Led Zeppelin shirt on. Look at that. It's badass,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Now on the entertainment show, are you going to talk about music as well?
yeah,
Because
yeah, absolutely.
awesome. I'll. I don't know if I can be a host regularly because of my job. I got a lot of stuff going
Right.
on, but I'll try and come on as much as I can when I get the
I
time
just
available.
need somebody to talk to. I'm not like you. I can't do that blank wall talk. You know what I mean? I tried the Peter Blake thing where you just look into a TV to practice, into a mirror and practice talking to yourself. I can't do that. It's unnatural to me, you know?
Okay, no. I mean, some people are not like that. I get that. That's all
I've
good.
always been great producing or being behind the scenes, but you don't know. It took me 3 years just to get on the damn camera after we started this stuff, you know?
Well, can I tell everybody a little secret? I didn't want to be on camera either, but then you told me, "Hey, you want to be a host on our show?" I'm like, "Sure." It's like, come on.
I figured you'd be great, man.
I try. I do my best. That's the key. I do gotta spruce up the show a little more, but that'll come in due time. And speaking of that, I want to make an announcement right here. I am going to do a wrestling show, Johnny. Um, I've been talking about that for a while, just haven't gone around to it, but I will be doing that. Um, it's going to be called Face the Heels. It's a wrestling show. I'll be doing. I don't have like a set time or a set like day of the week, but they'll be popping in there. Give you advancements on that. We're going to do one tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. The Elimination Chamber is going to be on. That's the pre. We're going to do a pre.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, cool, good stuff. And that's on Peacock in America. Everywhere else around the world, it's on WWE Network. So I will be on there. I'll try and get some guests on there as well to chat it up. But this is something I've been working on, and yeah, we're gonna go with that. Oh, look who's in the house,
Misador.
Misador, sir. How you doing, gentlemen? I'm Misador. Thank you for coming on. We're doing very well tonight. He's got a show
Nice profile pic, Michael. I mean me.
Shh, it's me.
I know me.
Misador is a great name, by the way.
Yes, it
is. Scott trying to kiss
Here,
up to the.
what is he up to, man?
Oh, it's Andrew's.
He's
North
taking
Sports
Corey's
Dynasty
place is
show.
what it is. He's just wanting to troll.
Yeah, well, Andrew had a show tonight. Obviously, our good friend Alex Loosemore was on there. They did like raffles, like a contest to see who wins stuff. So, like I said, I only saw a few minutes of it because I had to prep for this. So, yeah, but Misador, he has a show too. I think it's the Crew Table, I believe it's called.
The round table.
Round Table, yes, thank you. On every Sundays. Is he doing it every Sunday or is it just during the season?
He's been pretty. I think he does it every. Me, do you do it every week? I'm pretty sure he does, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure if he doesn't have the round table up, he's got something going, man, because he always does.
Yeah. Misador says, "Thanks, guys. I will tune in when I can tomorrow. You guys always bring it." Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Misador.
Sundays at 9 a.m. Central.
All right, guys. All the fans out there, that is his show, Sundays at 9 a.m. Central Time. That's 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Check his show out. They're great. They're great. Good show. They are. Very proud to put that on the Ben Zone because we got a lot of great fans that want a lot of good content. So, with that being said, Johnny, is there any final things you want to talk about before we wrap this up this week?
Entertainment wise, I forgot to mention Picard season 3, the Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
Picard. I'm watching the first episode right now. I actually got it paused up there right now, so I can't give a review on it right at the moment.
It's all right.
But Picard's been a solid since it started with them. So on Paramount Plus, you can catch all the Star Trek shows there. Strange New Worlds, Discovery, the animated one. I can't remember the name of that one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. They advertised that recently. Yeah,
that's actually pretty good. It's meant for the Nickelodeon generation, but it's actually pretty good. It's got a good storyline and everything.
Speaking of Paramount Network, I haven't seen it yet. I keep saying I'm going to see it. I will check out Tulsa King. Johnny, you said,
man, awesome. You haven't. That is awesome. That's the best thing they got going on Paramount right now is Tulsa King.
Yes,
that's Stallone in a whole different light, man. You'll be surprised when you watch it how well he acts in that movie.
I will. I gotta get on that. I know. I gotta get on it. I just keep. Well, speaking of Paramount, I guess Showtime's gonna be merging. Well, they've already merged, but they're gonna call it Paramount instead of Showtime, from what I'm hearing. So just like HBO Max and Discovery Plus, they're probably gonna be Max.
Right.
I know.
There was a merger coming up. I can't remember who it was, but they pulled out of it. I think it was Disney and somebody else. And
did they? Okay.
Evidently, that didn't happen. So,
yeah. Well, we'll try and do some entertainment review. Since we have the off season, the NFL stuff. We'll still talk about that, but we're gonna dive into more entertainment stuff because there are a lot of good stuff on streaming services: Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Peacock, all that good stuff. So, with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap this one up, but I want to thank Mr. Johnny Dean for coming on tonight. So I like when he's on here, anybody's on here, because I could bounce off, like I said, with people. Johnny's more comfortable bouncing off people, talking and everything. So, Johnny, we got the NFL edition Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. You know me, I won't be on till 10 p.m. Eastern because I work and I know.
It's fun to poking at you, especially when you get in the chat.
But I do appreciate you giving me that leeway because I don't think other guests would give me the same kind of leeway. But get Alec next time. Yeah, well, it wasn't on this week, so you got Johnny instead. So deal with it. All right. So with that being said,
and Scott.
He says you're number one, so you're a number one fan. Number one fan, that's right. All right, guys, and I'm not going to ask Johnny to promote. He doesn't like that stuff, so we're just going to end it right here. But guys, tune in tomorrow night for Face to Heels at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We're going to go over the Elimination Chamber, the preview for it. Hopefully, I'll get some guests on there. I know I was supposed to have Nick Rosario and Alex Loosemore, but I guess they got stuff going on. That's fine,
I'll jump in, will you?
Oh, appreciate it, Johnny. Yeah, we'll try and get some more guests as well. So, again, that's Face to Heels tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It'll be on the Ben Zone Face group, or if you're watching on YouTube, watch it on my channel, Ben Cornett 9015. Again, that's Ben Cornett 9015 on YouTube. All right, guys, and Johnny's gonna get poking you right now. I'm going to bed.
Scott is kind of old, so he needs a place to go take a nap every once in a while.
Yeah. You want to show him, tell him he's number one again, Johnny? One more time? All right. There we go. Good stuff. All right, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good weekend, and we will see you next time here on